Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome to the finale of Mr. Robot. We're here. Feels like only yesterday we started this journey, but this is it. The end. Will it stick the landing? And geez, it's got something to do. It's got a lot to wrap up in one episode, especially with probably the most bizarre twist, not just this show, any show I would argue has ever taken. So this ought to be very interesting where this is going to go. So last time on Mr. Robot, we had basically a couple of episodes that were dovetailing off of each other, where we saw the creation or this other world, which is a world where seemingly none of the bad stuff that happened to our characters ever happened, but Darlene was never born in this world. Angela's still alive, about to get married to Elliot. There's all of these things, but there's this creeping sense of something not right. Something isn't correct in this world. On top of that, our version of Elliot has seemingly arrived in this world. The power plant exploded in our universe, or imploded, or something happened, which then left Elliot in this world. And we had an episode which showed what he was doing whilst we were seeing the other stuff. And he's just acclimatizing, seeing what's happening, his family, his friends and Angela, and trying to put everything together. He hacks himself to try and understand this version of himself. And then we ended on a cliffhanger where this reality's Elliot basically was on the brink of death after an earthquake of some description. And Elliot decided to finish the job. He was like, I could take this. This can all be mine. Tempted in by this world and the treasures that's dangling in front of him. And he's like, well, this is how it's got to be. Seemingly, straight up murders himself and going to try and take his spot. So yeah, like I say, for a final episode, there's a lot to do here. We've got a lot of questions going into this. So I'm very fascinated to see how this is going to pan out for everyone involved. But before we jump in, please remember to hit the thumbs up if you enjoy the reaction. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought about this episode. Subscribe if you don't want to miss any other videos I put up on this channel. You know, all the things. Help the channel out, help with the algorithm, all of that good stuff. There are links down below to everything else that I do. Twitch, Discord, TikTok, all of those things if you're interested in that. But for now, let's see what happens. Let's see the ending of Mr. Robot. Okay, I guess we're picking straight up from the murder, where Elliot is the monster of this world. Or is he? Or is any of this even real?
Please, don't judge me. This was inevitable. Both of us can't exist here in this world.
Quite the jump, Elliot. It's quite the jump to be making.
I had no other choice.
And to assume you're the one who has to exist here. Oh my god. He shoved himself in a box and is going to ship him off. Is that now Schrodinger's Elliot? Does he exist while he's inside the box?
But White Rose's machine, somehow it worked. She was right. We're in a world where everything's better.
Yeah, the dead body over
For
there.
him?
You're here to tell me what I did was wrong.
Not anymore. You need to start seeing that for yourself.
You don't understand. I had to.
So what, you're just gonna take his place? Is that what this is?
Why not? I look exactly like him.
I guess they have been kind of setting up this season Elliot's sort of coldness. Oh my god, he's carting himself in a box in the street. This is madness. Be real bad if he just like fell out of the bottom of that box, huh?
Unfortunately, I can't let you get away with this.
Dom! She's just a cop here.
Then I'm gonna need that ID. Sir, this ID belongs to Elliot Alderson.
It's me.
This person is nothing like you.
Dom can just see through the bullshit, maybe.
I'm headed.
Okay, sir, I'm gonna have to ask you to open the box for me.
Awkward. Even more awkward.
Put your hands in the air right fucking now. Take 2 steps back and get on your knees.
Dom, even in this universe, is much too astute to fall for the bullshit. But this will be interesting. Is it your twin brother?
You gotta be fucking kidding me.
This is wild. It continues to get more and more wild.
If you just calm down, I can tell you what's happening.
Yes, please. Please tell me.
You need to listen to me.
No! I don't! Not anymore! I'm done listening to you!
I'm starting to think he might actually be in his own head, but I don't know if that's the show messing with me. Yes, I know. It's not lost on me. Show that has continuously fucked with me, continues to fuck with me. I shouldn't be that surprised. Honestly. Okay, well, this is just creepy now. This is just, they're all wearing the masks. They're all wearing the fucking F Society masks, aren't they? Yep. Yep, they are.
There was never gonna be a wedding, Elliot. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
White Rose's machine created this. That's why we're here.
No, it didn't. It is a world you created.
I've been here before.
You accidentally slipped into it once when you were going through your morphine withdrawal. Not a dream. Prison to keep him occupied. You could take control of him.
Another personality. Oh, here we go. Give me them sweet, sweet answers, baby.
The real Elliot.
He's been a fake Elliot all along? Is that... Oh my god. The structures of personality. The Elliot who's the real Elliot was the one who liked listening to records and was sociable, and that's the real one?
I'm not Elliot. Who the fuck am I?
You already know.
At least we got clear answers. We're not in an alternate reality. We are in a mind palace that he created to keep the real Elliot preoccupied so he could take control. So the third personality is Elliot, essentially. Oh god, this is... I feel like I'm going through a tornado. Just being whipped around. But okay, we'll see. We'll see where we go from here. Why does this look familiar to me? I'm getting like a weird deja vu. I remember this. Why do I remember this? Was there a vision that Elliot had of this in a previous season?
You're not Elliot. You're the mastermind.
You're the mastermind. Ew! What the fuck? No! No, I deny this reality. No. Oh my god, stop. Stop this immediately. Oh, hi.
Bonsoir, Elliot.
Yeah, this is an absolute nightmare. This is an absolute nightmare, what's happening. I hear like hospital sounds. Has he been dragged out of the wreckage of the power plant?
Elliot, please wake up. Wake up.
Hey, we're back in Krista land.
But since you trusted Krista so much, the others thought it would be better if she spoke to you.
Why would I trust any of you? You've been trying to kill me.
This is a good point. He's aware of where he is. Elliot, can you just accept the truth for my benefit, please? Can you just listen to someone? I'm wondering if this is because he was able to say he loved himself, so this part of himself isn't needed anymore, or something like that.
First personality was created the day Elliot jumped out the window. The protector personality.
Right, this bit I all get. I get all of this bit. Mr. Robot, I'm very clear about. Got that.
Later in life, Elliot created the mother personality. The persecutor.
Get up!
Blaming Elliot for the abuse.
I hate you.
Insisting that he needed to pay for it.
Oh,
Not long
that's
after her
sad.
came Elliot's younger self, who emerged to handle the abuse he couldn't tolerate.
I guess she doesn't know about you.
Me?
I know all about them too.
Yeah, figured.
The
that was
warriors who
coming.
think they aren't a part of this despite being here for all of it. But there's another one who came about not too long ago. The truth about who you are, I think it's time. Even they agree with me.
Yes, I too. I do agree.
You wanted to shelter him, which is why you changed his past. But it was his future you really wanted to protect, wasn't it? That's why you went to such great lengths to take down all the evil that surrounded him in the real world. You wanted to save the entire world so you could make it better for him no matter the cost. That's why you hid him here, trapping him in an endless loop.
I'm stuck in a repetitive, boring routine.
To keep him safe until you were ready.
And was him saying he loved himself being able to say he was ready? And obviously getting rid of White Rose and all of that.
The personality created to carry Elliot's rage.
Fuck society.
I was angry. I hated myself.
Angela's dead. She's fucking dead.
The vigilante hacker. Elliot always imagined being the personality that had gained so much control.
Something is going on with you, Elliot. You have not been the same the past couple of months.
He forgot he was only just another personality.
Okay, I guess it makes sense.
And now it's time for you to give that control back to the host.
Guess he was just living in it for so long. He completely forgot that was who he was. Unlike Mr. Robot and co, who knew that they were this other personality entity.
I don't ever have to give up control.
This isn't your control. This is your rage.
So he's just the angry one. He's just the angry personality. Now I'm just questioning, did he actually wake up, or is he in another layer of weirdness? Has he taken control completely? I mean, it was very nostalgic going back through everything, and it makes sense, but I'm not 100% on how I feel about it right now. Maybe just like Elliot, I don't want to accept the truth, which this show has done on a few occasions, to be fair. It has done that a lot.
Oh my god, you're finally awake.
Has Darlene known who's the real personality, who's the fake personality?
Please tell me this isn't a dream.
This isn't a dream, Elliot.
How would you know? I would be so fucked. Like, I would mistrust everything at this point.
They said you somehow stopped the meltdown, but there was still an explosion. The only way you survived was because the room you were in had some sort of advanced shielding.
So I guess whatever that machine does, we'll never know, because he was successful at destroying it.
Angela, she's gone. Same with Romero, Trenton, Mobley, Shayla.
Justice for Shayla.
This isn't in your head. This is real.
I think he's just acknowledging that he can't keep control. That's what's happening.
I'm not Elliot. I'm only a part of him.
I know.
Okay, she did know. I was thinking she's known the different, been able to spot the other personalities like that.
Not the Elliot I grew up with, at least. I've known since we started F Society.
How come you never said anything?
We were hanging out. I felt like we were finally getting close. I guess I didn't want that to stop. I wasn't there for him. I didn't know how to talk to him. I couldn't deal with what he was going through, so I gave up and took off. You know, even though I bailed on him, there's not a day that goes by that I don't think about him.
I'm so conflicted about so much right now. I don't know where to go. I don't know what I want to happen. Is this the key that will make him go, maybe it is time to give up this control?
And even though I'm only a part of him, I want you to know I love you. Hello, friend.
Hey.
God, that's always been lame, hasn't it? I don't even have a name. Just a guy trying to play God without permission.
Guess that means he's given it up. He's with them. Part of the family unit where one of the family unit is two of him. I mean, they're all him, technically, so... probably don't think about it too hard, I guess.
What if changing the world was just about being here? By showing up, no matter how many times we get told we don't belong. By believing in ourselves even when we're told we're too different. If we stood our ground for long enough, just maybe, the world can't help but change around us.
I mean, I like ending on this note. It's certainly a positive message.
Come on. This only works if you let go too.
Oh my god, the meta-ness that's happening here. We have to let go of the show. We're in a movie theater? Are we watching Back to the Future? Are we finally gonna watch Back to the Future? Or are they just watching Elliot's life in a movie theater? All these weird cuts. Oh my god, 2001! We're on a space odyssey. It's a really fucking cool effect. So bright. It's so bright. It's an eyeball. I'm guessing there he goes. The real Elliot is back. She knows. She knows right away.
Hello, Elliot.
God damn, I have so many thoughts and I don't know what I think at the same time. I doubt there's anything at the end, because what would you do? What would you do other than what that was? Oh god. What a fucking journey that was. That's the end. Mr. Robot, finished. I really don't know what to think about a lot of it. There was a lot to just take in there at the end and piece together and go back to and come back. It's a lot, just a lot. The crescendo of this whole thing basically being like the Elliot that we've been following this entire time was always like, well, technically the real Elliot was the third personality, but it's technically him. The one we've been following is the personality who took control of the body, was outletting the anger and the rage at everything that was wrong in Elliot's life, and was seeking to strike back, basically. I will defend you, I will use the protector version of our personality to help, and we're going to take down all the things that are wrong in our world, and until it's perfect, exactly the way I want it to be, that's when I will relinquish control. Except he'd taken so much control, he didn't want to give it back. He couldn't accept that he wasn't the real one because of how he relearned all his memories. A lot. Here's the thing. I feel like it makes sense. Like, I feel like they very much seeded a bunch of stuff to set this reveal up. Like, I swear, I don't know if I'm getting this wrong or not, but I swear there was absolutely an episode where Elliot had the vision of Angela in the wedding dress and saying those lines and stuff. I recall that being a thing, and being like, oh, remember this, and it was so long ago and I probably forgot it, which is, look, there's so many things here that are making me go, and I've said this before, like, rewatching this show would almost be like rewatching a new show. Like, if you watch it with the information you gained here and with other stuff that we've gained over the last few episodes, it feels like you'd be watching a new show. You'll be watching it with a whole other context. Like, the character is effectively completely different to what you think the character is when you're watching it completely fresh, which is fascinating and makes me very curious about how that would play out. I don't know when I'll ever have the time to go back and rewatch it all, but it does make me very curious to do that at some point. Again, it's the show doing a really good job of putting me in Elliot's shoes or at least the Elliot we've been following's shoes. They made a very distinct choice not to show the real Elliot properly at the end there, which I think was the right move, because ultimately our story that we've been following is about this sliver of Elliot, this piece of him who has been going through all of this, and that's what our story has been about. It's not so much about the real Elliot, it's about this version and what he's done throughout these events. In hindsight, I probably should have realized that this wasn't an alternate reality when Elliot murdered himself. Like, because that was so out of character and so out of like left field, but obviously it was done to throw you off, confuse you. It's like there's a lot of things in these 2 episodes that are purposely done to keep you guessing right up until the last minute, where you finally get Krista, who is exactly the right face and person to be there to dispense the information, basically giving us an exposition lore dump, which I don't know how I feel about, because I feel like it was doing a pretty good job of, as things were slowly trickling through, you begin to realize what's actually happening. But then it felt like almost like they felt the need, okay, we have to have someone just sit down and explain everything that's happening. And I don't know if that was wholly necessary. I don't know if it's an unfair criticism or not to say that for the first time in this show's history, even though in the reaction I was like, yes, please explain everything, but I feel like if I gave myself the chance, I was putting it all together. I was starting to realize what was happening, but it feels a little bit like the show felt the need to explain itself to the audience a little bit too much, maybe. I don't know if that's an unfair point or if it's just me coming out of the episode fresh. I don't know. I guess it's hard to know without having the alternative version where that scene is slightly different or not as on the nose, I guess. I'm not sure. But I feel like the visual clues, especially at the end of the episode, and frankly, I think the conversation with Darlene at the end was a more emotive and real way of doing that. Like, that made it even like more clear what was going on. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm being unfair with that or if anyone else may have felt the same. I guess feel free to tell me how stupid that point may be. But yeah, coming fresh out of the episode on the point of how I feel about this reveal, like I say, I feel like it is seeded. It makes sense. Like, you can join the dots and you're like, yeah, it makes all sense. I just don't know if I like it or not, which is a key difference. There's a key difference between it making sense and whether I like it or not. I like that it ends on such a positive message about, you know, being yourself and like standing up to things where they don't feel right. You know, all of that stuff. I really liked that ending message of the whole thing. And I guess the whole show is taking, you know, a deep dive look into, you know, split personality, what that looks like, what that feels like, more importantly. Someone who is dealing with trauma, and that's always been a constant theme throughout the whole show. And again, I feel like I'm kind of meant to feel like that. I'm kind of meant to feel like I don't know how I feel about this, right? Because that's exactly how the version of Elliot we've been watching this whole time feels, until the very end and the very meta line of this only works if we all let go, and we're a part of the equation as the audience, as a part of Elliot in some way, the sort of person looking in aspect of it. Like, we're almost meant to be the outer body experience personality of Elliot in some weird way. Like, that's like, if you wanted to come up with an idea of what we, the audience, are meant to represent in this equation, it's fascinating. It's a lot of very complicated and interesting ideas, and I feel like they've pretty much executed it as good as you possibly could, given how wild the whole thing is and how big a scope it's got going into this. And I do like that the final episode was basically just a whole character piece about Elliot. It's kind of like I said last time, like this feels like almost, it feels like a, what's the word I'm looking for? Like an afterword, or I'm trying to think of the word, that the section of a book where there's a added part, an epilogue, that's what the word I was looking for. It feels like the story ended once, like all the things that we've been following, all the events like the White Rose, Dark Army, F Society, all of that stuff kind of ended, and then we got this epilogue that was wholly focused on Elliot, what all that is, how he's dealing with it, and ultimately, like, we saw him giving up control and going to be himself. Kind of the true ending is the moment where he's able to say, I love you, to himself. That's, I think, really the keynote. And then all of this is just sort of visualizing the aftermath of that, right? And then what's really fun about this episode is once it becomes very clear that this is all in his head, this is literally a mind palace where the different personalities exist, all his experiences kind of exist, his interpretations of other characters exist. This like almost prison where he put the true Elliot to live whilst he was trying to sort everything out for him. Like, there's all sorts of interesting things there, like having Dom in here as a street cop. It's kind of like what Elliot thinks of Dom. He just sees her as this cop, but he sees her as a cop who's very good at her job. So she instantly recognizes, you're not Elliot Alderson. And it's also the bigger clue of, like, this isn't the real Elliot, like, and Dom, this fictionalized dream version of Dom, is the person to pick up on that. Like, you're lying, you're not actually Elliot. You know, there's layers to it, but I liked that it's Dom and it's Elliot's interpretation of Dom, who is very good at her job and instantly recognizes that there's bullshit afoot, which is very truthful. It's interesting because there are consequences to him trying to change the world for himself and to make it safe and make it better, is that they ended up losing Angela along the way. So I do wonder, I know some people said that the actor who plays Angela wanted to be written out of the series, so I wonder if she had been in this final series, if it would have actually ended with them together in some way, possibly, I don't know. And then we had Tyrell in here as well, and you know, you could read into all these things, and obviously Krista being the person who Elliot trusted, felt safe with, to expose bits of himself to. That's a weird sentence, don't you know what I mean? Don't, that sounded weird, but you get me. But no, ultimately I think I really like what the episode was doing and how it was visually conveying it. Obviously the direction in this show, the music in this show is always on point. They're doing lots of interesting things to kind of visually and audio let you know everything is not what you think it is. There's some weirdness afoot, and it slowly begins to, as it reveals that this is a dream world, it gets more and more indulgent in playing with that, which is fun. I really liked the ending scene with Darlene. Obviously the reveal of her saying, yeah, I knew it wasn't really you the whole time, because that really was the last thing that I was waiting for. Like, I needed that confirmation because I feel like Darlene would have known. So I'm happy we got that, and I really like the scene, and I really liked that we got Darlene's truth at the end, like why she was holding on to Elliot. Like, she felt bad about giving up on him when he was dealing with some stuff. She didn't know how to help, so she went away. So that's why she's been so motivated to stick with him and help him, and she's been happier with that. And now that the real Elliot is come back, it feels like, hey, we've repaired relationships. It's going good for Elliot now. So ultimately we did get a happy ending, which I was kind of like, and I guess it's kind of melancholy because the characters that we've been following kind of just have to go into this purgatory-esque like place in Elliot's mind so the real Elliot can live his life. And I feel like that ending scene of them in the cinema is them observing that life, them going back through everything, and then also like the future of Elliot, I guess. Like, very what's that Pixar movie like Inside, Is that what it's called? Where you could see them all inside the head being the emotions and stuff. I guess it's kind of similar to that. Ultimately, I think this episode excelled at doing what this show always does by challenging you, making you think outside the box as an audience member, and putting you in the shoes of this character that we've been following. The melancholy of having to let go, but knowing that it's not the end. It's like the happy, sad thing of everything ends, but then everything begins again. And, you know, that's a positive message. It's a hard one sometimes, but I feel like it explored that in a good way. And I like the meta level of it being like, the show is ending, we have to say goodbye to the show because it's finishing, but also we are a part of the equation. We are meant to be a part of Elliot's psyche in some way as the audience, and just like the Elliot that we've been following, we slip away and go to the back of the mind so he can go and live his life, his happy life, and we're not the observers anymore, which is a fun little meta thing that works really well, and obviously links us right back round to the first episode. But yeah, I feel like I could dissect this episode for hours hours and hours on end, but I should really wrap up a little bit. And, you know, just about this show as a whole, you know, I try and do this at the end of all the shows I've done, like to give a general consensus of the whole thing. And I think it's pretty obvious from the reactions, if you've been watching all of them. It's been a ride. It's fucked with my head. It's made me happy. It's made me sad. It's made me angry. Like, it's been a plethora of emotion and dealing with that emotion, and it's been very relatable in some ways and touching, all of the things. It's really run the gambit of like exploring emotion, which, you know, ultimately the show is kind of about that in a lot of ways. I'm honestly kind of sad that it's over. It's not often you get shows that are willing to challenge you and have episodes that, much like this one, that are purposely kind of designed for you to not fully like everything that you're seeing, and that feels part of the point. I appreciate that. I appreciate that the show doesn't treat the audience like stupid people. like it factors in that if you're stuck with us for as long as you have, you're here for the ride, and we're not gonna talk down to you at all, which I really appreciate. And that's not me saying I'm super smart and understood everything all of the time. Clearly, it's been recorded. You know that I didn't. But it's been fun going on the journey nevertheless, and letting the show reveal things to me and take those guesses and theorize. That's part of what the fun of doing these videos is, even though I can be very wrong sometimes, but that's the fun of it. That's the fun of it. And I'm sure when people watch shows like this one, you know, that's what everyone does when you watch these shows live. You guess, you speculate, and this show has provided much fuel to that kind of end to help speculate and have that kind of fun with it. I guess we'll never really know what the point of White Rose's machine was, if it was to create another reality, or if it was just a destructive device that seemed to be hinted at, like they just said the power plant was going to explode and Elliot saved the world, apparently. But I guess we'll never really know the truth of it. I didn't know how I felt about the machine, honestly, if it was going to be an alternate reality machine. I liked the idea of White Rose being just crazy with this power and money and wealth, and like having this machine and indoctrinating people with that promise. And that's because that's scary. It's legitimately scary when you can have someone who can make people act in a way that they wouldn't ever act based on a promise that clearly shouldn't be real, like an alternate dimension machine. I found that kind of like terrifying and like, this needs to stop kind of way. So I didn't know how I felt about whether this machine worked or not, and I think it's kind of better that we don't actually know for sure that whatever it was designed to do worked or not, because ultimately the point is that Elliot made the choice to stop it and potentially sacrifice himself in the process to do that. An amazing show. I've had a great time. And so I guess we have to move on to something else. I'm not 100% sure of what that new thing is going to be just yet. I will probably post a video that will be like a temporary like, okay, this is the plan going forward, so keep an eye out for that. And like I say, it will be like a video that I'll put up, and then once it's no longer relevant, I'll get rid of it, or a community post on the page on the YouTube page, so keep an eye out for that as well. But thank you everyone for joining me for this Mr. Robot adventure. I hope you enjoyed it. If you've just stuck around on the channel for this specifically, thank you for watching all these. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you stick around for more stuff, even if it's a show you're not necessarily as interested in, because who knows, I might end up doing a show that you are interested in at some point, or I might turn you onto a show that you never considered watching. You never know. But if you do decide, hey, I had my fill, I got what I wanted, all I can say is thank you, and I hope you had fun going through it with me. That's it. On to the next one. Thank you everyone for taking this journey with me and probably being very patient with some of my crazy ideas. It's been fun. So yeah, thank you everyone. Thank you for watching, guys. If you enjoyed, please press the thumbs up, subscribe, all of that stuff. Help the video out. Leave a comment. Let me know what you thought about the finale. Let me know what you felt about this ending. All of that good stuff. But most importantly, as I say, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and hopefully catch you on the next one.
Creatures of my dreams.